A Super Bowl surprise, the unlikely champs, and the man Sean Peyton still calls coach. Today on a sensational NFL Films presents. Thomas the Train, a phone call to Bill Parcells, a letter of reinstatement from the commissioner, a New York Times bestseller. They're all part of the Saints' remarkable Super Bowl season. But we begin our celebration of the champions with an ambush.
Saints trailing 10-6, and will be kicking the football away to begin the second half.
All right, here's the kickoff, and it's an onside kick, and the Saints, I think, have it.
How did the Saints pull off the greatest heist in Super Bowl history? Before we get into the evolution of the play called ambush, here's a look at the key players involved. Chris Reese is the third-year safety who wasn't supposed to recover the ball. Thomas Morstead is the rookie punter who had never before tried an onside kick. Sean Peyton is the head coach, willing to gamble in the biggest game of his life. And Bill Parcells is the mentor who pulled off a similar stunt in the past.
Competing against Peyton Manning, we felt we needed to gain a possession somehow. Prior to the Super Bowl, I had a chance to visit with Bill Parcells, and he drew some comparisons to the championship game in 1990. They had run a fake punt against the 49ers late in the game.
Oh, a fake. It's going to be a fake. They run across the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. What a run by Gary Reasons.
The Giants won in an upset. So the start to this ambush really was as a fake punt. To Indianapolis's credit, we just couldn't find the look that we wanted. So we went down the other road with an onside kick.
I'd never kicked off before this year, and so I'd never had an onside kick, but they wanted it to be a surprise, so we just started working on it, and I saw one from game film that Alinda Moore had done a couple years ago, and I did it perfectly the first time we ran it in practice, and Coach just called it ambush right then, and it stuck.
We had long discussions about it, probably 2 or 3 different times. I told him, I said, when it's over and everybody's gone home and
the confetti has stopped falling and the reporters are gone.
When you're upstairs in your room by yourself, you got to be able to say, hey, Peyton, I did everything I could do to win that game.
Because if not, it'll haunt you for the rest of your life.
Those words echoed into the Super Bowl, where the Saints trailed 10-6 at the half.
Coming off the field at halftime, you know, you've got 35 minutes here of the Who. And somewhere between Teenage Wasteland and Pinball Wizard, we decided that this was going to be the time to run this.
Hey, pay attention now, one quick thing. We're going to start this half kicking off. All right, ambush. Roman Harper, you recover it, right? I don't want this thing going out of bounds. Now listen, man, let's go get this game. Let's go get this game.
We had been told we'd run fakes earlier in the year, and we never ran them. And so I've never had a panic attack, but my heart rate, it just skyrocketed, just thinking I could help change the outcome of this game.
My first thought was, man, I don't know if this is the right time for this. I for sure wasn't for it, but I was like, hey, I hope it works.
Okay, what did you tell your guys at halftime?
Hey, it's right here for us. Let's go.
Halftime ended, we'd gone out, and I began to notice right away that they're teeing this thing up like we had talked, but the problem was going to be that this was going to be recovered on the Colts bench, and you would never want to do that. Quickly, I had a chance to just tell the officials, hey, we want to go right to left, not left to right.
Let's do this. Let's go this way. I want to go this way.
You want to go that way?
Yeah.
Because if there is a mosh pit like what happened, you want to get any jump ball.
So the Saints will kick it away, trailing 10-6. Thomas Morstead steps into the football, and it's an onside kick. And it's going to be covered up by Chris Reese, I believe. They're still fighting for it. No indication as yet.
We got it.
Really, I wasn't supposed to recover the ball. All week it had been Roman Harper that would recover the ball, and I kind of looped behind just in case it popped out or something like that.
I don't know if Chris Reese was able to get on that ball, but, I mean, he certainly had it.
I remember seeing Chris Reese have it, but he started to lose it between the back of his legs. Hank Baskett came in there and looked like he was going to be able to pry it from him. And then Jonathan Casillas came and speared Hank Baskett. And I think that's what allowed Chris to really get control of the ball.
Still a battle down there, still a scrum as players are separated.
You get out of here! You get out of here! You get out of here!
And I've never seen a pileup like that. I've never seen it take that long to pull everybody off the pile.
Hey, we got the ball!
But the fact that it was taking place on our sideline, that was big. So many guys, you know, Saints ball, Saints ball.
Jeremy Shockey says it's the Saints ball. The officials have made no declaration yet.
I remember the ref was kneeing on me, and I could hear him say, blue ball. I remember looking up, I'm like, what are you talking about? I have the ball right here. There's no reason to say blue ball.
White ball! White ball!
I held on to that ball until the last second. I was like, I'm coming out in pile with that ball no matter what.
White ball!
There's the first indication. The Saints fooled them to begin the second half with an onside kick and came away with it.
The scrum lasted 63 seconds. 6 plays later, the Saints scored their first touchdown on their way to a Super Bowl upset.
The miracle in Miami has happened. The Saints have won the Super Bowl.
Great job. It's one of the gutsiest Super Bowls by any coach ever.
Parcells said it. You gotta have balls to win this game.
Balls, I'm telling you. You set the record.
Monday morning, the day after the Super Bowl, I called Bill up, and this was something he would do. You know, he would answer the phone, and it would never be hello. It would just be a statement. And so he answered the phone, and he said, welcome to the club. There's only 28 coaches that have won a Super Bowl. Welcome to the club.
That's right. Special. Special.
What started as a conversation ended with the Saints' first ever championship and a trip to the White House.
After the game, I make some tough decisions every day, but I never decided on an onside kick in the second half of the Super Bowl. That took some guts. Were you okay with that? Did he check off with you? Yeah. I'm glad that thing went all right.
It's crazy. You know, this could be the play that's played back every year. Pretty special feeling.
Did you get to keep the ball?
I did not get to keep the ball. So I give it to my equipment guy, and I said, hey, hang on to this ball. I mean, everybody wants that ball. And I went to him the next day. I said, hey, do you have that Super Bowl ball that I recovered? And he said, no. An official came up, and they took it to the Hall of Fame, and it's actually in the Hall of Fame right now. So that may be my only chance to get into Hall of Fame, but I'm glad to donate it. Without a doubt, the gutsiest play in Super Bowl history.
The Saints' win over the Colts in Super Bowl 44 was a moment of great pride for the football fans of New Orleans. But few could have been prouder than this former high school head coach from Indianapolis. For 10 years, J.R. Bishop was the coach of Indiana powerhouse Lawrence Central. He left in 1979 to take over a struggling program in Naperville, Illinois.
The place where I was going had been a big-time loser. And so that's one of the things that really appealed to me. And our son was going to give me an opportunity to coach him.
His son was the starting quarterback. The backup was a kid by the name of Sean Peyton.
After my junior year, it was when his son finished his last game. We were at Wheaton Central, and we lost. And we were in a team meeting, and he had a football in his hands, and he flipped it to me. He said, well, it's yours now. And he meant the starting job upcoming year.
Before one of their early games, Bishop got a glimpse into Peyton's true calling.
And I'm going over the game plan and so forth, and he says, Coach, he said, I don't know, we can work with this play. I said, which one? And he told me, I said, we won't use it. Go on. This one, we won't use it. We get down and we've got 3, 4, 5 plays left. I said, now you remember this. We're not going to call any other play but the ones that we have right here. Well, we won the game. He knew what he's talking about. He was a student of the game. You don't have many players in your career that are really students of the game.
Whether or not he did see something in me, he convinced me that he saw something in me and told me so on a number of occasions. You know, you're gonna coach someday.
In Peyton's senior season, Naperville Central had a chance to win the conference title. But Bishop suspended 3 players for the decisive game, including his 2 starting defensive ends for buying alcohol.
As players, we would have been shocked had he not done anything else because we knew him already. 2 years prior, I got a D in his English class, and he didn't let me start in the sophomore game. It was going to be the life lessons that took precedent over just one game.
Naperville Central lost the game and the conference title. But Peyton gained a mentor and a direction that guided him long after his high school football career was over.
You know, all of us have support from our families, and yet we look somewhere else oftentimes for, you know, who's responsible? You know, how'd you get where you're at right now? And I can clearly say my high school football coach, J.R. Bishop, and he's a guy to this day that I'll speak with on a monthly basis. Both my parents are deceased, so I would consider calling my high school coach before I took any job, calling my high school coach before I got engaged to get married, calling my high school coach before I did anything of significance in my life.
In 2006, following Bishop's lead from 27 years earlier, Peyton took command of a big-time loser. In the wake of Katrina, Peyton became the head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
When I got here, I invited Coach Bishop for our first training camp.
Right. Now we're going to special teams, and we'll take a break, and then we get into
to really just give me another set of eyes and look at a few players.
What is Chucky?
What's Chucky? It's a check with me.
Oh.
The same way you feel when you see your children perform. You want them to have success. Boy, it just eats at you if they fail. I mean, I think that would be the case with him in regards to the Saints.
When 2 defensive guys are unblocked, probably there was a mistake.
Since 2006, Bishop has attended every Saints summer camp. He has seen the Saints and Sean Payton grow up in ways he never thought possible.
I don't think my coaching career has surprised JR at all. In other words, I think he saw this coming. But this offseason, I wrote a book that was a New York Times bestseller. Now that, I think,
surprised me.
Shocked him, because he taught me sophomore English. And everybody that knew me in college or in high school to this day says, can you believe he wrote a book that was a New York Times bestseller? And their first response was, who helped him?
Sean Payton's rise is quite a story. J.R. Bishop was there at the beginning, and he was there when he reached the top.
It's picked off! It's picked off! It's Tracy Porter! He's running free! He's going to go out of the way! Hand outstretched! It is a Saint touchdown! Get ready to party with the Lombardi, New Orleans! The miracle in Miami has happened!
I was so excited, and to think that he was the coach, and it's hard to explain how excited I was about that, just to be a small part of it.
When the confetti had died down and it was quiet and all you had were your thoughts, he put them on paper, and I remember just sitting reading it. You know, it was like a letter from your father.